Have you ever wondered why dressing smartly holds such importance in our lives? It's a question that many of us have pondered at some point or another. The clothes we wear can make a powerful first impression, communicating a wealth of information about us before we even utter a single word. Our attire can convey our confidence, professionalism, and even our creativity, subtly influencing how others perceive us. But the art of dressing smartly extends beyond personal preferences. It's deeply intertwined with the culture of a region. Each culture, each region, has its unique set of norms and traditions that seep into the fabric of our wardrobes. From the sharp tailoring of London's Savile Row to the vibrant hues of Indian saris, the way we dress is often a reflection of the culture we belong to. So it becomes evident that what we wear is not just about us, but also about where we come from and the culture we belong to. Now, consider how culture influences what we perceive as smart dressing. Let's take a look at the East versus the West. When we think of smart dressing, different images might pop up in our minds, depending on our cultural backgrounds. In Western countries, the concept of formal attire leans heavily towards tailored suits, crisp shirts, neckties, and polished shoes. This look, often referred to as business attire, has its roots in the Victorian era. It was during this time that the suit, as we know it today, began to take shape. This style was then popularized by businessmen and politicians, making it the standard for formal dress in the West. However, this isn't the case everywhere. For instance, in many Eastern countries, traditional attire plays a significant role in smart dressing. In India, a sari, an intricate garment that is draped around the body, can be considered formal attire. It's a symbol of grace and elegance, and it's often worn for important functions and business meetings. Similarly, in Japan, the kimono, a T-shaped robe-like garment, represents sophistication and class. While these garments may seem complex in design and execution, they are deeply rooted in the history and tradition of their respective cultures. The differences in smart dressing aren't arbitrary. They reflect the cultural norms, history, and even the climate conditions of different regions. For instance, the heavy woolen suits of the West are well suited for colder climates, while the lightweight materials used in Indian saris or Japanese kimonos are ideal for warmer weather. These cultural differences in smart dressing highlight the richness and diversity of our global community. They remind us that what's considered smart or appropriate can vary greatly from one culture to another. And yet, despite these differences, there's a common thread that ties it all together. It's the desire to present ourselves in the best possible way, to communicate respect, and to make a positive impression on those around us. While we may dress differently based on our cultural backgrounds, it's fascinating to see how each culture has its own definition of smart dressing. As we wrap up, let's revisit the key points we've discovered. We've journeyed through the fascinating world of smart dressing and its cultural influences, understanding how our sartorial choices are far more than just fabric and thread. They are a reflection of our identity, our heritage, and the culture we belong to. We've explored the East and West, two divergent cultural landscapes with their unique approaches to smart dressing. In the East, traditions and rituals often dictate what is considered smart, with an emphasis on symbolism and respect. On the other hand, the West leans towards individuality and functionality, balancing the classic with the contemporary. Yet despite these differences, a common thread weaves through: the pursuit of expression, respect, and dignity through our attire. So as we step out each day, let's remember the power of our clothing choices. Remember, no matter where we come from, the way we dress is a reflection of our culture and identity. So dress smartly, express yourself, and celebrate your culture.